welcome to Diamond Delight Edibles. My name is Liz if this is the first time you're joining, and for the rest of you guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it and all your awesome comments. So the other day I had put up, I don't know if you all seen it, a buttercream icing, a can of buttercream icing. And when I made that, I thought my can of powdered sugar was ground fine enough. However, it wasn't. So my icing turn was a bit gritty, but I thought, oh, it's not too big of a deal. But then the next day when I went to go use it, it just it looked like this. It wasn't nice looking, and it was really gritty. Like it just, you can see it's just not a nice, particularly nice looking icing. So I was like, oh, that's a lot of icing. I didn't want to waste it. And the only way that I could think to take care of this was really to get that sugar melted. So I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? So I went back and kind of had my thought about when I make my body butters, I create whipped butter from melted oils. So I thought, the idea should work the same. Did a little test, and lo and behold, it did. So here is the stuff that wasn't so good, and this is the fixed stuff. So I'm trying to bring that in close, so you can see it's gritty. Doesn't really look as nice. The color isn't great. And then this fix, looks a lot creamier and smoother. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. And when I start to show you how to do this, you're going to go, lady, you are crazy. This is never going to work. But trust me, it does. So let's jump into what we need to get this going, and we'll fix our buttercream. Now this will work for any type of, like if it's too granular. So this is mainly to fix a granular, and it can even happen with your regular powdered sugar. Not all powdered sugars are created equal. So I actually have two different brands in here. Let's see if you can get a decent look at it. Probably not, it's white on white. This is all, you can see it's a little bit more balled up in that, whereas this side's a little bit is smoother. So this are just two different brands of powdered sugar, so you can see the difference can just be from your sugar. So how to correct gritty, not nice looking buttercream icing. Alright, so what we're going to need for fixing this is we're going to need about 1 or 2 tablespoons of milk. Again, it's going to depend on how much you've got. So we're just going to need a little bit of milk. You're going to need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of water, and about 2 cups of a sifted powdered or icing sugar, same thing. Then for our equipment, you're going to want to have a stand mixer, or a hand mixer will work, but you're going to stand there for a long time. You're going to need the whisk attachment, measuring spoons, a spatula, and then just something to put to add your icing sugar in a little bit at a time. And that's everything that we need to to fix our icing, and we'll get right into that. So I have put my my frosting, my icing here, in my double boiler. I've already heated up my pot, so it's already starting to melt, probably a little quicker than yours will go. And what I'm going to do here, just to assist with the sugar, because sugar dissolves in water, is not oil soluble, it's water soluble. So we're going to add just a little bit of water to assist with the melting of the sugar. So I'm just adding about a half a tablespoon. Not even that much. Just a few drops. We just want a little bit of water in there to help our sugar. Let's get that mixed in. Turn the right one on. Yes, okay. I do have the right, it's on. So we're just going to mix this, just going to stir it until it starts as it heats up. And as it heats up, the oil and the shortening and the butter are going to melt out of it, and the sugar there is going to come together. So it's kind of going to come together like a doughy slime, a slimy dough. And that's okay. You're going to think, as I said, you're going to think I'm crazy with this, but it does work. I wouldn't show you if it didn't work. That's why I'm actually showing you the correction here, is because some of you will probably run into that problem if you use your powdered can of sugar, and if you made your own from regular sugar, you probably run into this problem, so this is how you can fix it. I'm just going to continue to fold it over as it heats up. And as you'll see, as it's starting to melt, just kind of looks like just a bit slimy, all our sugars. But it's very important to add that little bit of water, or otherwise it's not going to work. Because the extra sugars aren't going to melt, like I said, because sugar cannot melt in the butter. And we're not getting it up high enough in temperature. We're doing this over low, so we don't want to cook or burn or overheat anything. We just want to melt it, so it's over low. So the temperature doesn't get high enough to actually melt the sugar by heat. So that's why we need to add that little bit of water to assist with the melting process of the sugar. And then you'll see as the sugar's melting, it'll just get smoother and smoother looking. Okay, so now once your frosting is all nice and melted, and it's kind of got a shiny sheen to it, looks like that. Now yours, there's a little bit variance in textures depending on the icing. It might be a little bit slimier, a little bit more solid, more of a little bit more dough-like. That's okay, as long as you have a nice creamy smooth texture. So you can run it up the side of the bowl. You can see how nice and smooth that is, and then as well you can taste it. That's good. So now you're going to feel a little bit of sugar, but it's not going to be because there is still the powdered sugar, but you'll know what I mean. You'll see the big difference. It'll melt right in your mouth. You won't be going, ooh, that's like sandy. So once you've got that, you're going to transfer it over to your mixing bowl, and we're going to let this cool down to room temperature. And then also to prevent it from kind of crusting up on top as it cools, you can take a piece of saran wrap and lay it over top of your icing. So not just over the bowl like so, you want to lay it right on top of it. So it acts as a skin, a barrier. Like so. And I'm going to wait, as I said, we're going to wait till that cools. So you're going to put it on like that. And wait till that cools to room temperature. Alright, so now that my my icing here is cooled down, take off your saran wrap. And we're going to add in 1 tablespoon of milk to start. And then I'm going to add in about a 1/4 cup of my icing sugar. Attach the whisk attachment, the whippy thing, and we're just going to start it on low to incorporate the icing powder first, and then we're going to speed it up to medium high for about 5 to 7 minutes. And then I'm going to turn it up to medium high, and then I'm going to let this go for about 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm just going to check on our frosting here. Look how that's whipped right back up again. Now this may or may not happen. It's going to be dependent on why your buttercream was gritty. If it was gritty just because your sugar granulars were a little large, then you're not going to probably have this issue. However, if it was gritty because you added too much powdered sugar to your initial mix, it's going to basically look like this. It's not going to look particularly smooth. It's going to look a little grainy again. But when you taste it, it tastes, actually taste it here. It tastes smooth, but you do notice that's really, really sweet now. So now it's like it's over sweet. It's too much sugar in it. That's why it's looking like that still. So how to fix that is we're not just going to whack in some butter, because otherwise that's going to mess with our texture. What I did was I took a 1/4 cup of butter and a 1/4 cup of shortening and put it in a bowl, and I'm going to whip this up for a few minutes so it's a nice light and pretty much white texture before we add it back into our icing here. So you're going to whip it up so it's a nice, see that? Be almost white and almost looks like nice silky icing. So that's what you want that texture to be like before you add it in to the buttercream. So let's get back to our buttercream. So what we're going to do, again, we're not going to add it all at one time. We're just going to add in a spoonful or 1 to 2 spoonfuls or so at a time. Because again, we're just trying to fix it. We're not trying to remake it. So we don't want to go too much. You can always add more. You can't take it out. And there we go. See how much nicer now that is coming together? Perfect. Getting there, almost perfection. So I'm just going to finish whipping that up for another just about 2-3 minutes, and we should be good. And there we have it, our fixed buttercream. Pretty wild, eh? So I'm going to show you a really quick trick here, especially if you do a lot of decorating or you got a lot on hand. This is going to save you a ton of time and effort and cleaning of piping bags. So what I do is I take a sheet of saran wrap or plastic wrap and you lay it out. Sometimes easier said than done. And you take a blob of your icing. You don't want to do too much. So basically you're doing kind of individual piping bag sizes. You're creating, as I said, individual. So plop them down in the middle and just spread it out. Do a little bit more. And this is great because you can do up all your colors and stuff ahead of time of what you need. And like I said, it saves you so much time and effort. So then you take your saran wrap and you just fold it over like that and hold both sides down and tuck that in so that it's nice and firm. And then push down on your edges. Then you're just going to fold and try and keep it tight. Keep your edges tucked down and keep rolling. And then once you get to the end, you go, whee! And that seals it off. And then what's super easy is so then you can stack up a whole bunch of those ready to go. And as I said, I'm gonna color some up so that you can see the difference there, as well as I want to pipe some out for you so you can actually see the icing. All right, so I'm just gonna pipe some out here for you so you can actually see it. And then just show you how quick and easy this is, I'm gonna switch up colors. So now I want to use a blue. You just pull that out and you grab your blue. Snip it in, so you just take it where it starts from. Make sure it's coming out. Plop her in there, and then you're just gonna squeeze out until you start getting your blue, like so. Now, if you want that totally clean, then you can change. You can use new bags, but if you want don't mind a little bit of color in it, it might have a bit of a trace. There you go. And now, if I actually wanted to do the two colors together, you just take them both and you plop them in. Just make sure they kind of go down evenly. Give them a squeeze. Let's get out our solid blue. There we go. And now you can do a nice two-tone. Just like that. And then it's super easy. You just pull out the plastics and you just, if you're using disposable bags, you just throw that away. Otherwise, you just have that much of the bag to clean now. That's a lot better. And it's a lot easier. You can make up your whole batch and have these set up and just leave them sitting out. Or you can store them in the freezer for up to 6 to 8 months. So that's everything. Oh, here, actually, let me show it to you. And there we go. Much vastly improved. All right there, guys. So that is my demonstration on how to fix your grainy butter frosting. All right, so I'll be back to say goodbye. All right, guys, so that was my demonstration there on how to fix your buttercream icing if it is too granular because the sugar crystals are too big. Now, if it is because you added too much of the powdered sugar, then you definitely want to add that step of adding the additional butter and the shortening with that up. All right, so again, you want to just keep adding a little bit at a time until you get that consistency that you want. So as always, if you have any questions at all, anything, let me know in the comments, and love to hear from you. Thanks again for watching. Oh, and follow me on Instagram. I'd love to have you guys follow. Take care. Have an awesome day.